Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Fist-25, and today in this video we're going to review the 300 series by Origin Jumpworks, the 300i, the 315p, the 325A, and the 350R. And we're going to get started with that video right now. All right, everybody, so welcome back, and here we go. As you can see, on the top left corner there is the 300i. It's the ship in the white. To the right of that is the 315p. To the bottom left is the 350R going through the racing checkpoint, and the bottom right picture is of the 325A, my favorite of the 300 series. All right, so let's start getting into this video here. I have a placeholder for all these ships, and we're going to go ahead and get started right now with the 300i. So the 300i is a luxury single-seater starter ship. It says starter ship, but really the 100i is the starter ship. It is capable of filling almost any role in the galaxy. It is the base model of the 300 series. Nothing else in space looks like a 300 series ship. The distinct silhouettes stand out in all circumstances, inspiring awe in business partners and fear in opponents. The 300 series isn't a starter ship, it's a message. Which is true. So the 300 series, especially the 300i, it really kind of came about based on the like a BMW or a luxury type of automobile that's also very sporty. So that's kind of the concept that has been described for the 300i and the 300 series as a BMW-esque ship that sends a message with its silhouette as much message as a silhouette as it does with its particle cannons. These ships have actually been through a redesign, and while I'm not going to show any images from the original concept, they are significantly different. Also, the 300 series is the only series right now that sports the ability to actually customize your ship with the ship customizer. When you buy one of these ships, you can actually pay microtransaction money, and you can actually go in there and do little tiny things that you like say you want a carbon fiber dash or a wood dash. Let's say you want a certain type of accent lighting. Let's say you want a certain type of sheets on your bed. Do you want a coffee maker? Do you want a food processor? Do you want a stereo? Do you want little digital pictures? What kind of paint do you want on your aircraft? All those little different things you can do inside the customizer for the 300 series, and I think it's really cool, and I think it's a really great idea to be able to kind of make a one-of-a-kind ship, even though, you know, some of the options are pretty standard. Unfortunately, in patch 3.13, both 0 and 1, that ability is broken right now due to a bug. So even though I have one of my ships that is fully customized, I wasn't able to get it into the video because I really wanted to get this video out. And, you know, maybe we'll do an update to this at a later time when the customizer is working. So just a little bit of background on the 300i. It does, all the ships only really have a crew of 1, even though, of course, more people can fit in there. This particular ship has a cargo capacity of 8 SCU. The cost is about 767,200 Alpha UEC. And it rents for about 15,344 Alpha UEC or 5,500 REC. It takes about 12 minutes to claim it. Expedite is 2 minutes, and the Expedite P is just about 3,000 credits. If you want to buy this ship, you can purchase this ship at any time. It's always available, and it sells for about $60 US on the RSI store. There actually is quite a bit of history in both Origin and with this ship in particular. Also, I forgot to mention, you buy the ship at Astro Armada. All 4 of these ships you can buy at Astro Armada at Area 18. Just a little bit more lore before we move into the actual 300i here. In 2989, in the wake of X3's success, the Lang brother built out his own team. Otto worked on the 200 series observation craft, and Andreas designed what the company saw as its crown jewel, the 300 series personal spacecraft. The design team consists of fanatics, idealists. To make the 300's styling would carry some higher ideal. Some of this grammar isn't the best in the world. The resultant team was an eclectic mix. Standard ship design specialists focused on areas like power plants, thrusters, and life support, while outsiders from other industries were brought in to work on aesthetics, comfort, and the general feel of the ship. In 2897, the first hand-machined Origin 300 prototype. At first, there was no designations for variants. They took flight at the Frankfurt Cosmodrome. The first flight was an enormous success from the technical standpoint. The prototype completed 9 Earth orbits without a hitch. Additional early tests rapidly checked off the standard first flight objectives, including the Earth-Luna slingshot and the initial quantum to Io. Inside 6 months, 300-1, which was the first one, was ready to perform the first jump tests in real space. However, a complete materials manifest of the current metals, alloys, and components indicated that the in-retail cost of the ship would be over 15 times that of an Aurora. The company's board, previously content to let Lang work without restrictions, stepped in. For the next 14 months, the factions of the company fought a vicious internal battle over the 300's production model, with a chain of executives resigning in defiance of Lang's obstinance. Spacecraft designers and outside consultants were tasked with determining how to turn a perfect, expensive prototype into a working production model without sacrificing the soul of the machine. The result of these reworkings was a spacecraft with a lower price, roughly 4 times that of an Aurora. In 2898, the High Court passed down a verdict in Pressman versus the UEE that allowed a civilian craft to use the same speed safety standards that racing ships have been using for years. Pressman argued that the current advances in avionics, the older safety regulations set by the Department of Transportation and Navigation, were an unfair burden for modern pilots. The court agreed, and the timing could not have been better, for the 300 series would have been the first new spacecraft to take advantage of these new speed safety limits. As a result, in 2899, the 300 was one of the fastest ships available in its class. Although RSI, Drake, and others quickly followed suit and produced ships that were uncapped, Origin won popular acclaim by getting there first. In 2899, the 300 series, only the 300i at the time, premiered at a special reveal ceremony at Baikonur to incredible acclaim. The combination of its stunning lines and an incredible performance won over audiences immediately. The Origin 300 quickly became the look of popular spaceflight, a symbol of success and a goal for everyone setting out into the galaxy. And after the introduction of the 300 series, over a dozen 300 series variants have been offered since the line's inception, with the majority being minor one-off yearly models themed for particular events. Origin has expanded their production capabilities every year since the 300 launched, using the success of the design to finance more spacecraft that allow the same aesthetic philosophy. Origin continues to adhere to Andreas Lang's basic belief that the look and handling of spacecraft should speak to our deeper nature. And with that, I will say with the customizations, once you do them, you can't actually change them. If you do feel like you want to change your customization, you are going to have to melt your ship down to credit and then repurchase it, and then you can redo your customization at that point. So without further ado, let's dive in to the tour and some first-person flying and dogfighting of the 300i. Hey everybody, it's Fist here, and We are here with the 300i on the beautiful moon of Selin. And wow, what a nice picture with Crusader in the background and the sun just kind of going down. But I wanted to take a quick look around the 300i here as part of the 300i video, or the 300 series, I should say. It is a fantastic looking ship. You can see kind of where CIG got the idea of pulling from like a BMW. Let me go into first person mode here. We can see, I mean, it just it kind of screams class and some elegance. It's got those real nice smooth lines that all the ships in the 300 series have, but there's something about the 300i with its, you know, default white paint scheme. It's just a beautiful ship to look at, and I really enjoy it and flying it as well. On the front, let's do a front view here if I can get the sun not to blind us a little bit. Okay, just about there. You can see it has just a real, well, I'm gonna have to do it, sleek kind of modern profile there. I really like it's been redesigned since it was original, or since the original concept, but I really like the redesign. It just reminds me of something like an actual aircraft, something we could, you know, I could see it today. Anyway, before the sun goes down, I want to get some more pictures here, or some more video here as we come around the starboard side of the spacecraft. Looks like there's some kind of venting system up there. Not quite sure what that is, but it looks neat. We can see we got thruster ports around here, and we'll take a better look at that when we're actually flying around. Definitely the intake scoops right here. I do have a Mantis GT220 up on the nose, and I have attrition 3s mounted on the wings with, I believe these are size 2 Strike Force 2 missiles, I think. You can see the wings, how they kind of, they cut out, they're not too long, and then they fold up around back into a spoiler, which is definitely a very unique styling. Looks really good. We can see almost like that blue light up there on top, next to the 300i marking near the main, I guess, hydrogen intake or air intake, whatever the case may be, near the main intake scoop. As we come around back, we can see that wing that turns into a spoiler, it actually has a separation from the actual integrated spoiler, which is just a super cool look. The engine is fantastic. We're going to turn that thing on here in just a few minutes, but provides enough thrust for this aircraft for sure. I don't think there's any other points of interest here on the bottom. I don't think we can open a cargo bay or anything like that. You can see here the maneuvering thrusters are and all that, and as we get all the flashing lights on here. Again, that blue light, I don't know if that's I don't know if I've ever noticed that before. Is that supposed to be there? I'm not sure. It looks like all these, you know, space rivets or something are actually holding these panels on, and it makes it look very realistic in comparison to a modern aircraft, with big landing gear, wheel wells, and all that. And there's quite a bit going on this ship, but we can definitely see some pixelation. Looks like they need to tighten that up. I never noticed that before. I don't think I've ever looked in the wheel well of a 300i series. It could probably use a little bit of work. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and take the tour on the inside, and I'm gonna go ahead and open up this ladder. You see the ladder comes down, and we will automatically climb up to the 300i. Now notice all the blue kind of ambient light there as our door closes. That's very much like a modern aircraft door. And we'll take a very quick peek at the back here. I want to do this more with while we're flying because the lights will be on. But you can see where that blue comes from, and I think that's kind of where those blue line streaks come from. But yeah, we'll take a quick look at the back here as soon as we get up and get going. do the interior tour portion. But first, let's go ahead and do the cockpit tour portion of the video here for the 300i series, because they're all the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on power.
Origin Jumpworks at your service. Core system operational.
Okay, and of course we have our shields critical warning, which was supposed to be fixed, but there we go. It's gone now. I don't see the low power warning, so that's at least a good thing. So let's look around the cockpit area while we're sitting down in there. We do have an ejection lever. We do have a yoke, much like a modern airliner. And there are buttons on there or over near there. Open exterior and press to unlock, or on the left one. The right one, it looks like it's power off type of button. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4 multifunctional displays that are kind of like hologram type of displays. One with a ship status, one with a power status. I like, actually like to have our self status up here. I wouldn't mind seeing the power down there. And then our shields up here and our target over here. To the right, we can spool the quantum drive. Engine on, engine off. Those are our interactable buttons there, besides, you know, the normal HUD stuff. To the left, open exterior, press to unlock, which we've already seen, and then exit. And I don't think there's anything else. Nope, that's pretty much it for the cockpit. So let's go into third person view here. We can still see that blue line on top. It's quite interesting. And if you look at how the glass works on the top with the moonroof and me in the cockpit there, it's almost, I mean, there's a couple struts there, but it's very seamless and it looks just very nice. Definitely the Beamer of Star Citizen. Go ahead and we will take off. Very quiet. It never used to be that quiet. You can definitely see our thrusters working here. As we lift up vertically, we have those 4 bottom thrusters. Go ahead and take the landing gear in. Nice and smooth animation there. So we get a lot of light on the ship. Go ahead and enter our cruise control mode. Pretty darn quiet as we reach our cruise speed of 202 meters a second. I guess we'll fly around Selin just a little bit here. Throw a little more speed in there, see what we can do. We pass some kind of a volcano or something going on. It does fly very nice, very similar to the 100i. If you haven't watched the 100i series, I do have those available. All right. Nice, fairly tight turn there. I mean, this thing it's no, you know, Anvil Arrow or a Gladius or anything like that, but it is a small craft and it does fly very well. I've always been impressed with the 300 series. I'm not sure why the engine kind of shows that it looks like it would be damaged or something like that. That's kind of odd. Let's look at it from a first-person view. I mean, I know we're on a moon and atmosphere, but we are gaining some really good speed here. I mean, over 600, over 700, and I'm not boosting or anything like that, so very impressive speeds in atmosphere for the 300i. Gotta clear these ridges. Ooh, a little bit of low clearance there. Let's go ahead and take this ship out into space. Excuse me. You can see the TVI indicator coming up pretty rapidly, catching up our vector to our speed. There we are, easily approaching our maximum speed. I'll go ahead and kick it all the way to the top as we have cleared Selin's, mostly cleared Selin's gravity well. Like our top speed here is 1187, 1188 ish. And we'll go ahead and cut the engines. Oops. We'll level out to Crusader here, and let's check out what the ship looks like on the inside, the interior tour of the ship. Now, the three of these ships are going to be very, very similar. The only one that's really different is the 350R, and that's because it's the racing ship, so it's a little bit tighter quarters. But as you can see, there's our seat here. Here is our door to get out, right? And then the ship has a little fire extinguisher that may come into play at some point in time. But we do have a toilet. We can open our door. It's just a toilet. It's not a shoilet, so no showers in here, anybody. It's just to use the facilities, but it is pretty convenient. I don't know if that gameplay's ever going to be like a real thing, but at least it's a very fast door. Very fast door. As we come up in the back of the ship, we can see it has this beautiful moon roof, and we can see Stanton there, the star. And we have a nice, beautiful view of Crusader. It's just, this is kind of the class and elegance part of the 300i series, or the 300 series. As we go straight to the back, we can see there's definitely some kind of glasses and storage compartment that doesn't open yet, and some kind of maybe a rack to put a weapon or something like that on there. We do have a bed in the ship with its own screen, so you can log out in this ship and you know, go to sleep. We'll go ahead and check out that animation right now. As the bed pulls out, you get in it, and then it'll kind of scoot itself back in. And there we go. It scoots itself back in with a nice view of the stars up there. And like I said, we do have a screen up here, which we can use just like you can use anything else on the ship. So if we had a comms, we could call somebody, or we could check the power or the weapons or whatever. There are some customizations that can be done. Right now, customizations are broken. Unfortunately, that's what I wanted to show you guys, was the customizations. In one of my ships, I have it fully customized. But with customizations, you can add things like a picture over there and like an alarm clock, custom sheets. I mean, right now it says Origin, but my sheets are a little bit different. I have a coffee pot up here, as well as I think a microwave and a food processor and stuff like that. But up here right now, we do have what appears to be some kind of a refrigerator, and we do have a sink. I think one of my customizations is also like a music player. But yeah, so you do have a very small galley, but it is there. So if you wanted to entertain somebody, I guess somebody could sit, maybe one person on the bed. There is 2 glasses, so I'm not sure if there's going to be a chair that pops out at some point in the future or not, but it does have these beautiful blue neon lines going all around the ship. So let's take a real quick look around the ship as well from the outside, from space. We'll just we'll see what it looks like there. So we can sell it in the background. Some sun on here. As you can see, the engines look very nice the way they are set up. They do go a lot of thrust. It's like there's 2 engines in there. Now we got the sound coming in. Very interesting how there was almost no sound before. I do have 3 size 3 weapons on here and some missiles. There's 2 missiles, so it can defend itself pretty darn well. There are, I mean, just look at that. It just looks, man, it looks fantastic. I remember first time I saw a Cobra of Cobra TV showing off his 300, I was like, man, that is an awesome ship. I would really like to have one, and so I made that happen and got one. So that is the 300i. Let's take a break right now. We'll pull up some kind of a quick and down and dirty combat mission, and I'll just show you the 300i in combat with its 3 size 3 weapons. And then we'll move on to the next ship, so stay tuned. Here we go, coming up into an ECN alert. This is in the PTU, so I reset my account so I don't have all the good, tracker training or all the good bounty hunter missions.
All ships, outlaw attack in progress. Send out to my coordinates immediately.
Gotcha, buddy. What are we fighting here? Can't even tell. I don't have a... Looks like a Buccaneer. Run into the asteroid. Do it. Do it. Gotcha. One down. Splash one.
Contact.
There's another one. Let's see if I can get into missile range. Whoa, almost hit that guy. I kind of like how they're talking to us more.
Shields under attack.
Oh, he's attacking me now. It probably hurt a little bit, bro. How about these missiles, bro? Take that. Oh, of course they didn't hit. Why would section missiles hit? As you bust out a couple flares.
Contact. Eliminated.
Gotcha anyway, didn't they? Oh, that was nice to see. All right, let's keep going, protecting this guy. I gotta be careful where I shoot because I'm not gimbaled here. Whoa, I like that I'm seeing the shield effects when he actually hits my front shields. It's definitely some added graphical goodness. Ooh.
Contact. Alert. Engine.
You see that flight system overheating already. Not that much afterburner either, and this is an upgraded ship.
Hostile eliminated.
See ya, bro. Next one up.
Alert. Engines overheating.
All right, let's keep on going.
Alert. Engines overheating.
There we go. Cannot use the afterburner.
Days after that.
Hope you're okay, buddy.
Shields.
Yeah, it wasn't that close.
Think about all the free time you're going to have in the hospital.
Well, I'm glad I was able to protect you, my friend. Safe travels. And I could actually use some fuel if you want to pay me in fuel, or I think you're just gonna take off at this point. Or he's just gonna sit there. Anyway, guys, let's see. There's not really any damage, not any worse for wear here with the 300i, as we handily took care of that ECM mission. And I think now we go back to our title page and we move on to the next ship. All right, everybody, welcome back. Now that the 300i has been introduced to you, let's go ahead and move into the next model of the ship, the 315P, the touring version of the 300i, of the 300 series, I should say. It is the exploration variant of the 300 series, featuring a more robust power plant and a custom scanning package exclusively designed by Chimera Communications. Exploration is man's highest calling. Prepare to chart distant horizons with man's most sophisticated piece of technology, the Origin 315P. Featuring a more robust power plant and a custom scanning package, the 315P is designed for the pilot who wants to go further, to see things that few have ever seen. And while the original 300i's cargo capacity was only 8 SCU, the 315P actually has 12 SCU, so 4 more SCU, I believe it does lack a hard point at the front, at the nose. That hard point is actually, and we'll get more into this with the loadout, but that hard point is a tractor beam. That's what it is right now. So eventually the 315 is going to be able to do more stuff as you explore. It is a crew of 1. It is a cost of 882,000 Alpha UEC at Astro Armada Area 18. You can rent it for 17,500 Alpha UEC or 6,500 rec. You can buy this at any time in the real world money for $65 US. Let's talk about a little bit of the history of the 315P. In 2899, the 300 series launched the single model, the 300i. The designer of the 300i, Andreas Lang, was insistent that Origin would be producing variants in the third model year by designing entirely new models to fulfill different specialized tasks. Origin, remembering the expense of the first prototype and ensuring an ensuing battle to lower production costs, balked at the idea. For all of the project's rhetoric, later amplified by the series' initial marketing, the company wanted to borrow an important aspect from the RSI Aurora, a modular space frame designed to easily adapt variants. Like the Aurora, the 300 series would adapt the initial version into a host of different factory models built atop the standard design. By all accounts, the decision to develop variants instead of bespoke models soured Lang on the project altogether. In 2930, which is not that long ago, right? It's 2951 in game right now. The Origin 315P was launched in 2930 as a pocket explorer, an unusual attempt to marry the 300i's lines with improved power output and a newly developed scanning package. Despite the odd duck nature of the design, the 315P proved a reliable performer, with much of the success coming because smaller prospecting outfits were happy to have a dedicated spacecraft that could perform just as well, but provide the comfort and style that was often overlooked by other manufacturers. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the ship tour and the first person view of the 315P. Hey folks, so here we are with the next ship to look at, the 315P from Origin. It's a little bit different color-wise, you know. It does look good. Of course, it looks almost identical to the 300i, but it does have a different default paint scheme here with the gray and the yellow. And so I'm not gonna. I'll walk around the ship a little bit, but you'll notice instead of a weapon hardpoint on the front, this guy is the Sure Grip tractor beam, and I don't know, this ship, it's the Explorer version of the 300 series, and while that's interesting and cool and all, it does have more cargo, and it does have a tractor beam. So I don't know, I'm not sure what that's for with a ship as small as 12 SCU of cargo, but it is there. So let's take a quick look around. There is, I don't know, so there's no weapon hardpoint. There are 2 other weapon hardpoints on the wings, where I have attrition 3s on there, but this is a tractor beam. There is no real tractor beam gameplay right now for this, so it really doesn't have. Why did I get knocked down? Weird. So I'm really not sure what the point of it is right now. Anyway, the rest of the ship looks exactly like the 300i, as you'll notice. We are here at Jawa right now, walking around. It does have a little bit different aesthetics as far as the colors, the lighting's a little bit different. Oh, that's got to be the mining outpost, that sound. Well, that scared me. The back of the ship looks very similar to the 300i. Still very good, still very nice. I think my visor's starting to fog up here. And as we come around, we see there are missiles on here. A little bit different build, of course. But let's go ahead and get inside, and we will warm up and kind of go from there. That was a little weird. Okay, so the 315P, as you see, there is a toilet. It's got some red accent lighting in there, just the same as the 300. No other. Gosh, that door is so fast. That would hurt somebody. As we come up, we could notice that it looks a little different. We still have our openable fridge. I'm not sure. It looks like this is kind of open space in here. I'm not sure if there was supposed to be something down there. I'm not sure where the water goes either. So that's an interesting feature of this ship. As we can see, the moonroof is still present and still the same, as is the bed and the monitor over here, as well as the closet, our champagne and wine flutes over here. No other interactability on this ship. So let's go ahead and hop into the pilot seat. Hoping to make this 315 review a little bit shorter. So let's start up the ship.
Origin Jumpworks at your service. Core system operational.
All right. So the ship is on. Yeah, I think this is also supposed to have a enhanced sensor suite, but some of those sensors really just aren't online yet either. So let's go ahead and take off. We will fly it around the planet here, the moon here at SCM speed a little bit. As you could tell, as I could tell, it handles very similar to the 300i. Roll rate very good. Yaw rate very good. And you see that 180 turn? Boom, already the pitch or the yaw has we've caught up with our vector. And the pitch is also very good. So again, very maneuverable, just as maneuverable as the other 300i series. And there we go. So let's go ahead and head out onto space. We gain a little bit of speed here. I'm not sure necessarily what the point of this ship is right now. I probably wouldn't recommend buying this ship until it has that tractor beam and the enhanced sensors as part of normal gameplay. I guess you could probably save money by getting it a little bit early, because it'll probably go up in price once those systems are in, but I just don't see the point of it right now. A lot of people really love it, that you're going to be able to explore with this guy, but I just don't necessarily see it right now. I see the 300i series as the base, for the 300i, the 325A is your fighter. If you're into racing, the 350R, I just don't see a place for this ship right now. But let's go ahead and we'll grab a combat mission. Actually, since we have the sun here, we can at least get a decent look of the ship here with Yella in the background. Looks very nice. It's a very nice looking ship. I got those 2 attrition 3s on there, which you can hear out here, but inside they were almost like silent. It's either very, very quiet. We're even quieter on the 300. So maybe really good sound dampening. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna go find a mission and we will shoot some bad guys, and then we'll move on to the next ship. See you in a few. All right, everybody, so we're in the 315P and we are headed to just grab a bounty. I think it's a very low risk target. There he is. And we're just gonna see. I can't even hear those guns. Very quiet, those attritions on this ship. But in the PTU here in 313.1, we get close-ish to the target, but we mostly have to fly there a little bit on our own. So it's interesting to kind of do that. Considering, you know, how fast we can go, you know, dogfighting speed, things like that. You got to kind of manage that stuff. But here we go. This guy's an Aurora LN. I wish we could hear the guns. We can't hear them now. Oh, we have two ships. Nice. Oh, well, he's upset. We are doing quite a bit of damage with these attrition 3s. I mean, they are size 3 guns. I wouldn't expect an Aurora to last very long under them. There's an Aegis Gladius. Saying the S word? That's a bad word, buddy. You shouldn't be saying that. Trying to keep this PG-13. So, the 315, you know, even though it's an Explorer ship, it can and should hold its own against other ships, which it just did. So, there we go, guys. There is a little bit of combat on the 315P. Definitely. Oh, now we can hear the lasers. Jeez. Sound issues in Star Citizen, apparently. But yeah, very nice ship. I can't wait until it actually has all the systems implemented in it. And now we're going to move on to back to the title card and on to the next ship, my favorite. 325A. All right, everybody. So welcome back from the 315P. I hope you liked that tours. I can't talk today. I think it's time to go into the next model of the Origin 300 series, the 325A. My favorite in this ship line. It is the combat variant of the 300 series. It features an advanced weapon payload as well as a custom targeting system specially designed for the 325A by Willis Opp. Although I haven't necessarily seen that in game, it does. The nose hardpoint has gone from a size 3 hardpoint to a size 4 hardpoint, which allows me to mount a Revenant or an Attrition 4 or a bigger gun on there for a fixed gun, which significantly increases the damage output. It's a dangerous universe out there. Be the arbiter of your fate with the combat enhanced Origin 325A. Just because it's a rough galaxy doesn't mean you need to sacrifice your comfort. The 325A can come out on top in any dogfight. So the 325A, again, has a crew of 1. This time, the cargo capacity is the smallest, and it's down to 4 SCU now. Really, it's a combat ship, but I guess it can still carry a little bit of cargo. Excuse me. You can pick this ship up at Astro Armada for 944,200 Alpha UEC. You can rent it for 18,884 Alpha UEC or 7,000 rec. It goes for about $70 US, and it's always available to purchase on the ship store. A little bit of the history on the 325A. In 2899, the 300 series launched again with a single model, the 300i. And again, the designer, Andreas Lang, did not like that the 300 series would be more like the RSI Aurora, whereas you take a single space frame and you just basically come up with some different parts and boom, you have a whole new version that you can sell for more, which is kind of what car companies do today. But regardless of that, he did not like that. He wanted more bespoke, specific models, specifically tailored in design, but he lost that battle. The 325A Dogfighter was officially revealed in 2940, so again, a very new ship to the Star Citizen universe. It was generally believed to be the result of a naval contract. No information has ever been declassified on why the UEE Navy might have utilized a fighting-focused 300i design, but an in-depth analysis of the ship's properties suggests it was actually first designed as much as a decade before its 2940 reveal. That's about all the information I have on the 325A, and let's go ahead and delve into the ship tour and take it away, me. Hey everybody, so here we go again with another of the 300i series. This is the 325A, the combat variant of the 300 series, and my favorite of the 300 series, go figure, because I like combat. So As you can see, it's very almost exactly like the other 300s, the 300i, the 315p. There are some key differences, though, as we kind of walk around the ship here. We're at lovely Area 141 at Daymar. Beautiful place to visit. We can see the front of the ship here. There's a big old cannon, repeater, actually, attached to the ship. That is the Apocalypse Arms size 4 Revenant. Also my favorite ballistic repeater. It's huge. It makes this thing look, oh, it's devastating. And I love using it in combat. As we come around the sides, we can see it looks just like the other ships. Again, this one has a different default paint scheme. It's got the black and the gray and the red and the white. I got a couple size 3 attritions on here. This version, because it's combat variant, has more missiles on it. So I do have more missiles. We'll discuss that more in the loadout section. As we come around the back, we can see that as my guy looks up and I look up, hey, this thing has the exact same spoiler type of setup as the other ships. We come around the port side, again, same thing, more missiles, size 3 attrition, and I think we should go ahead and hop in this ship and let's take it flying. So we're gonna crawl in, and we can see that there's a little bit of clipping with Daymar stuff through the floor. That happens from time to time. Even on Hursting, you get like plants and stuff coming through the floor. This ship, look, it's another toilet. This time, it's kind of an orange accent in this ship. But otherwise the same as the other 2 ships. As we come up here, we see the same thing with we got our fridge, we have our sink, we have some storage area, a closet, some champagne flutes that we can't use, as well as a bed with a comms table. Now, the sad thing is the reason I came into PTU to do this was because there was a bug with the Origin 300 series customizations, and supposedly they had it fixed today. And my 325 is the one I actually customized. I spent actually $40 real world money to add things to the ship, like an alarm clock and a digital picture and different sheets, and it had different lighting aesthetic, and it had a food processor, and I think a microwave, and then a coffee pot and a music player, and it was a different paint scheme on the outside. It was the Obsidian scheme with a carbon fiber dashboard, and there was all kinds of stuff you could add to it for, you know, a few dollars. That all in all totaled up to about $40. And I can't use it because there's some kind of bug right now where we can't see it. So I apologize for that, although it's not my fault. But this is still one of my favorite ships in the game. And I think it was the second ship or the third ship I ever bought in Star Citizen. And I had flown it before I bought it, and I really like this ship. It is a nice little fighter, and it's got room to go sleep in the back, and it's just got that sleek, stylish Origin looks. But what I think we should do is take it out around Daymar here and take it flying. Oh, Daymar looks so good right now. These polish passes that they've been doing on these moons and these planets have just been really phenomenal. And Daymar has those nice browns and whites that just, they really look good. They pop very well. Great job on the CIG, and it's definitely my favorite place to come bring like land vehicles and do things like this. And of course, it's the home of the infamous Daymar Rally. Let's get a little more speed on this ship. We can really hear the wind whipping around in the ship now as we surpass about 400 meters a second. A little boost. There we go. Ooh, it's almost better to fly in third person. Sure is a lot quieter. Anyway, let's take this ship into space and do what it does best. Let's watch a little, we'll do a little first-person combat, and you can watch me annihilate some of the enemies. Oh, if you notice down there in the bottom of the HUD, I have 4 size 3s on here. That is the default loadout. And in a ship that's made for combat, that's kind of what I prefer. But it does have a little bit higher of a range requirement, so keep that in mind. And we'll see you when we come out of Quantum for the combat. All right, folks. So here we are in the 325A as we kind of come up on our prey here. And we have it's a relatively low mission for a ship with this much ordnance. Yeah, we got to kill some bad guys here in this asteroid area surrounding Jawa. But we're doing a mission for Crusader security. So here we go. We're into the 10,000 meter range. Waiting for our scanners to really pick them up. Oh, they picked us up. There's one of them. Sylvester Nicanti. I want to hit him with a missile. Fire. Yeah. Oh, missed him. He's not happy. Let's see if the missile comes back around. No? All right, I want to try another one. I was hoping to get him. It is just an Aurora LM, so. Get him! No, missile! What is wrong with you? No! Okay, let's just tear him up. Those are the lasers. Here's the remnant. Oh, get him! Oh, missed him. Yeah, he keeps saying the S word. You see how fast he went with a gun? Oh my gosh. You know what? I don't think that was enough. I really don't. We got a little loving from Crusader. I want to do another one if we can. Just because, you know, these are new, by the way, guys, but I know they're very low targets. But, oh, our guy is like right next to us. Where is he? Oh, see, we don't even have to really quad him anywhere. We can just, get a little boost here. I mean, I barely even flew to hit that guy. It was like it wasn't even fair. The ship was just, with that size 4 Revenant, it was just, really, it wasn't even fair for him, to be honest. Because an Aurora is not going to stand up to 2 size 2 attrition, or 2 size 3 attritions. And, oh, there, now we got more guys. Okay.
Achieved missile block.
That missile. We got him. All right. What is this guy? Oh, it's an Avenger Stalker. What are you thinking? Oh, what are you doing with that laser shotgun? 150? Let's try to lock him up. I don't want to hit an asteroid. I don't think we're going to get far enough away to lock a missile on. Maybe we are. All right, here's our last one. Oh, see? There we go. That didn't get it. Let's keep going to our guns. Not super worried about it in 50. But I do want that bounty money. Hi. Origin to origin violence. Sorry. All right, everybody. That is the first person combat for the super cool Origin 325A, the combat variant of the Origin 300 series. Looking great here out in space. Just looking real good. Super powerful, super fun. Handles like a dream. Love this ship. If I was going to recommend you buy any of them, this is the one. But I digress. Let's move back to the title card and back to the next ship. The last in the 300 series, the racing ship, the Origin 350R. All right, everybody. So welcome back from the 325A. I hope you enjoyed that. The combat was quick. It was vicious, and it was a ton of fun. So let's go ahead and we will move on into the next ship and the last ship in the 300 series lineup that you can currently buy, the 350R, which just happens to be the racing variant of the 300 series. It features dual thrusters instead of a single one in the rest of the ships in the same series. It has again, a crew of 1. The same cargo capacity as the 325A. It has 4 SCU. You can buy this ship for 1,602,100 Alpha UEC, so significantly more expensive. Or rent it for about 32,000 Alpha UEC or 16,000 REC. When the ship has time limited sales, but when you can buy it, it goes for about $125 US. We'll talk more about the specific stats when we get into the loadout section. But the variant here, this 350R was actually the first variant of the 300 series. Instead of helming the 2903 model year as previously intended, Lang built a smaller, separate team to construct the Origin 350R speed model. Not intended for wide sales, the 350R project allowed Lang and his most fervent acolytes a chance to build the high-performance ships he desired for the racing circuit. The 350R became the first variant of the 300 series. And it is quick, and I do like the 350R. I like that it has the missiles that it has and the weapons that it has. And you know, it's a good ship. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the tour of the 350R and enjoy. All right, everybody, here we go. The last ship in the 300 series. This is the racing ship, the 350R. And it definitely has the best stock paint scheme out of any of the ships with the black and the yellow. It looks really good. It is in fact the Origin racing ship. It's cool looking, right? So I equipped this one a little different. I put the ballistic repeaters on the wings and the attrition 3 on the nose. So a little bit different. Other than that, really it's the same ship, except there's some differences. If we look up top here, whoa, there we go. We look up top here, we can see there's 2 separate intakes instead of the 1 intake. I'm not sure if that necessarily matters, but you know, we'll see. Well, it's definitely I'm sure it's supposed to matter, but it should be better handling, maneuverability, all that stuff. As we come around the side and the back of the ship on the starboard side, again, it looks pretty similar to all the other 300 series. Yeah, engine looks about the same. Spoiler is the same. The wings are the same. It does have missiles on it, and I never use this ship because there's really no point to racing right now. Yeah, let's hop in it in the beautiful Daymar here, and it does have a little bit different of an interior, and I think it's supposed to be because the engines are bigger. But as we get inside the ship, when we look in the back, notice there's no galley. There's no sink, or this isn't a luxury touring vessel, it's a luxury racing ship. There is a bed, however, so you can still sleep in the ship. There is still the moonroof, where we can see the windstorm raging out here on Daymar. But there's no frills here. There's some carbon fiber, and yeah, that's about it. There is still, however, a toilet. This one has yellow accent lighting. So you can still race and use the restroom at the same time. Notice the seat is a little bit different. It's more of a kind of a racing seat. Everything else with the ship should be pretty standard here. Let's go ahead and fire it up.
Origin Jumpworks at your service. Core system operational.
All right. We're going to go ahead and lift up here. Retract our gear. Now it looks like there's another engine. I think the other 300 series just had 2 outtakes or 2 exhausts. And this one actually has 3. So maybe that gives it a little bit extra boost. Now I do actually have this set up in a full competition racing type of setup with our coolers and everything else in here. It does feel significantly more maneuverable, but then again, it's not like it turns on a dime, but it is more maneuverable. There's a little bit of afterburner. Let's kick up the speed a little bit here. A little bit of low flying, a little bit of boost over the mountains. Go for a roll. It seems a little bit faster on the rolls. Okay. A smaller turn. Maybe turns a little bit faster. Let's go for a yaw, full yaw. See, it hangs up a little bit on that atmosphere. Yeah, I was worried that we were going to go into the planet or into the moon. But there we go. Let's straighten her out there. Let's go for a full loop here. Now the ship is, see, I think this loop is not as good as the other one, but you know, the other one we were doing I think was on Cellin, so probably less gravity. Let's go inside the cockpit as we fly around. As you can see, the displays, they're all the same in here. Everything's the same in there. Here's some boosts. Let's see what we can do. And we got pretty far up. The engine did shut down, but it came back on fairly quickly because there's competition racing parts in here. Let's go ahead and head on out into space. One thing about the racing parts is that they do recover faster. I would say right along with the military parts recover faster as well. It's cruising though. Let's see if we can get full speed. Let's see, top speed looks like a little bit more. It looks like a 1346, so it should be actually faster here. Let's go to SCM speed. And while I do have some weapons on here, those are the Gatlings and the laser up front. I think we're still going to take this guy out for a little combat run. It still needs to be able to defend itself as it goes from place to place, as those very loud retro thrusters fire. It is taking quite a while to get back to SCM speed. But we did it, and SCM speed is 258 meters a second. So let me hop into some combat, and I'll meet you there. All right, guys, we're approaching our target here. Now, as a racing ship, I'm just going to increase the speed here. I would say I'd love it to perform better, but Yeah.
Contact.
Whoa, kind of lost that tip there. All right, I got a lot of missile on you, buddy.
Achieved missile lock.
They just eclipse. See what happens.
Hostile eliminated.
Took out an eclipse with 2 size 2s.
Under attack.
Now we're gonna have to work on this guy in the another eclipse. Let's see what 2 ballistics do to this guy. I really like that, the SDF shield effect.
Hostile eliminated.
All right, took that guy out pretty quick too. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Taking this ship out. Okay, guys, so that is the 350R, the racing version of the 300 series. I can't say I recommend buying this, but it's almost exactly like the 300i itself. 3 size 3 hard points. It is faster. It's a little bit more maneuverable, it feels like. So maybe that is the tipping point where you would buy this ship over a base 300i. I do like those intakes there. They look fantastic. It does have, it looks like another part of the engine, like 3 parts instead of 2. A little bit different, but I don't like the fact that it doesn't have a galley, a kitchen, stuff like that in it. I think that's the trade-off, right? You don't get those creature comforts and the storage and stuff, but you do get a faster ship, something more maneuverable, still has good missiles and weapon hardpoints. So it's your choice to make. So with that said, guys, let's go back to the title card. Actually, we're not going to the title card. We're going straight into ship loadouts, and let's go look at the 4 different loadouts for these ships, and we'll talk about them. Then we'll work our way into some more information with probably the commercial, and then we'll do some 3rd-person chase camera footage of some dogfighting, and then we'll end up wrapping up the video with final thoughts. So thanks for watching so far, guys, and stick around for the loadouts. All right, everybody, so welcome back from the tours of all the different ships, the 300i, the 315p, the 325a, and the 350r. And at this point in time, we're going to go ahead and move the video forward. We are going to take a look at the loadouts for each one of these ships. And after we're done with the loadouts, we will move further into more video, and then eventually into the dogfighting section, and then we'll wrap it up. I hope you've enjoyed yourself so far. Stay tuned. All right, folks, so here we are at the loadout section of the 300i and the 300 series themselves. What we have up here is the 300i to start everything out. It is a luxury ship, exploration / touring ship. Ship size is 2. We can see the hull hit points here are about 6,150 with an SCM speed of 204 and a maximum speed of 1188 meters a second. Pitch of 68 degrees, a yaw of 68, and a roll of 230. It does say it has a cargo grid of 10, but I believe it's only supposed to have 8. So I did not test that, so we're only talking 2 SCU there. So let's go ahead and get into the loadout right away here. We can see the DPS is right here at 1,241 DPS, and that's with 2 shredders and a M5A laser cannon. We're going to go ahead and change that around from, remember, it was at 1241, and we're going to stick on the nose anyway. We're going to stick a ballistic gatling, a Mantis GT220. And then on the laser repeaters, we're going to throw on 2 attritions on both wings. And now we have a DPS of 1713, which is significantly higher and better than the previous DPS. Plus, these are all repeaters. If your Mantis GT220 does run out of ammo, now you still have 2 attrition 3s, which is the same loadout we'll have on the 315P. And those still deal a ton of damage, and you are still very capable until you can refill your ammunition. As far as the missiles go, it has 2 missiles. Right now, there's size 2 hard points. So the default loadout is a Strike Force 2 on each wing, and I love that loadout. Strike Force 2 is a cross-section missile. It's really good for this ship, and I would not change that. So you can save some money there by not upgrading. The rest of the components, from the shields, the power plants, the coolers, and the quantum drive, they are all civilian grade C components, which we are going to do a little upgrade on. Right now, the shields are 7,200 hit points, and they full charge in 22 seconds. We're going to put an FR66 in there and a industrial palisade, and now our shield hit point pool is up to 14,000 with a full charge in 33 seconds. Significantly more shields, and it'll allow you to stay in the fight a little bit longer. Right now, you can see with that stock power bolt power plant, we are well over halfway, which is not what we want. We want to be half or under for our power. So we're going to upgrade that to a military JS300. You can see that takes our power rating under half, which is exactly what we want. For the coolers, I go with my tried and true double industrial ultra flows there, giving us a cooling capacity of 880K, and we're only using 202 with our loadout right now. The quantum drive, I did mess around with this a little bit. I've had a burst on there and a rush and some of the other stuff, but I usually tend to go back to my tried and true Atlas, the civilian grade A, and it seems to work really, really well, and that's what I like. And you can buy them at Port Olisar. And so this is what I like to have on my 300i here. Let's go ahead and dump all these items into the cart, see how much an upgrade is. The upgrade turns into, it's about 171,850 alpha UEC for the upgrade to the 300i. So let's go ahead and empty that cart. Let's move on to the 315P. All right, folks, so here we are with the 315P, and we'll take a look at some of the ship stats. It is a Pathfinder, again, ship size 2, hull hit points 6150, speed of 210, an afterburner speed of 1223, a little bit more than the 300i. It has the exact same pitch roll and yaw capacity as the 300i. But the cargo grid is a little bit more. On StarCitizen.tools, it was 12 SCU. Here on Urkel, it is 14 SCU. Again, a difference of 2 SCU. Not sure what the deal is with that. You can see the main difference here between the 315P and the 300i is that nose hard point for the 315P is a tractor beam, the Sure Grip tractor beam. And we can't change that. That is bespoke. It comes with the ship. It's attached to the ship. What we can change are the 2 weapons that are on the wings. Right now, there's 2 Shredder ballistic repeaters on there, giving us 896 DPS. We're going to go ahead and just fully upgrade those to attrition 3s, give us lasers, give us very long range because we don't need to refill the lasers with bullets or anything. And we jumped up our DPS to 1233, so almost 400 more DPS. As far as the missiles go, there are a Tempest 2 on each wing. Those are size 2s, and I would leave those as is. Again, no need to mess with the missiles on this ship. It is perfectly good the way it is. You can see it does have stealth components on here. Stealth grade C, shimmer shields, sonic light, power plant, and heat safe coolers, as well as an industrial quantum drive. I think it's the industrial quantum drive because it's meant to be a Pathfinder and Explorer, and it'll go slower, but it'll you'll be able to go further. If that's your ideal playstyle, then I would probably go with a Colossus because it's a little bit faster for the industrial drive. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. The shields, I'm going to put the same shields on that I had before, a Palisade and an FR66. The power plant is going to be a military GS300. The coolers, industrial ultra flows, and the quantum drive, I am going to put an Atlas on there. We only have one system right now. The loadout may change in the future. But for right now, it's going to be the same exact thing as the 300i, and that's the kind of stuff that I like. I recommend that to you as well. I've used it with good success with the 315p. If we dump our items into the cart, we can see upgrading this ship is 158,350 Alpha UVC, where you can buy the parts. Remember, you don't have to buy the third hard point. So I'm going to go ahead and empty the cart, and we're going to move on to the 325A. All right, folks, so here is the 325A and its stock loadout. We can see this kind of craft is an interceptor craft, combat career. It has the exact same hull hit points as the 300i and the 315p at 6150. It does have more speed. It goes 225 SCM speed and a 1235 afterburner speed, which is actually pretty nice. It's a faster ship. The pitch and yaw are actually 1 degree higher than the 300i and the 315p at 69 degrees a second. And the roll is at 230 degrees a second. It's the same cargo, or sorry, the hydrogen and fuel is the same, and the cargo grid is at 4 SCUs, which is what it should be. Now, this ship, right now, our DPS is 1414. We're going to change that a little bit. On the wings, again, we're going to put our attrition 3s. And then on the nose, we're going to throw in our RevNet size 4 ballistic Gatling gun, jumping our DPS from 1414 to 1904. So almost 500 more DPS by upgrading the weapons package on here. The missiles on here, I like them as is, just like I do with the rest of the 300 series. There is a bespoke missile launcher for size 3s. Right now, there's 4 Arrestor 3s on there. And then there's also 4 Dominator 2s on 2 separate missile racks that are on the wings. And I kind of like that, to be honest with you. Those are EM missiles. And I like that. If you want to change them out with Strike Force or Tempest, that's up to you. But I kind of like the way this 325A is set up, so I don't mess with that. As far as the shields, the power plants, and the coolers, and the quantum drive goes, they're all military grade C. So they're actually all pretty good. But I would actually go a little bit further and upgrade these, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So I will go to FR66s and a Palisade for my shields, giving me 14,000 for my shield pool. For the power plants, I'll go ahead and bump that up to a JS300, and the coolers I will go to Ultraflows for the more cooling capacity, and the quantum drive once again to an Atlas drive, giving us pretty much the same stats across the board as the 300i and the 315p. It's just this one has more firepower, and both in guns and in missiles. If I dump all this stuff into the cart, we can see it's going to cost about 201,000 Alpha UVC to fully upgrade this ship with my recommended configuration. I'm going to go ahead and empty the cart. And let's take a look at our last ship. It's a little bit different, the 350R. All right, folks, so we're back with the 350R, and we can see this is a racing ship made for competition. Significantly less hull hit points, probably because it's made out of lighter materials and not as much armor. So the hull hit points is 3,050, but with that you get a speed increase. The SCM speed is 258 meters a second, and the max speed is 1347, which is quite a bit higher than even the base 300i. The pitch and the yaw remain at 69 degrees a second, just like the 325A, but the roll has been increased to 265 degrees a second. The cargo grid is the same as the 325A at 4 SCUs. Significant upgrade to a racing ship compared to like the M50 or the Misk Razor. This thing has 3 size 3 guns on it. So if it's racing and destroying, this might be the ship for you. Once again, I go with the laser and a ballistic Gatling setup, except on this one, I only put 1 laser on, and I put an attrition 3 on the nose, and then keep my ballistic Gatlings on the wings. So 2 GT220s on the wings and an attrition 3 on the nose. It's my preferred loadout. The missiles, I keep them as Strike Force 2. There's 1 on each wing. And then on the shields, everything is competition grade. And I actually kept my ship competition grade with everything. I just put the best competition stuff on there. So instead of the Targa shields on there, which our full shields here are 3600, I actually bump up the Targa shields to Yakti shields, which now gives us a shield hit point pool of 4320. So a little bit more. The power plants, I get rid of the Star Heart that's in there, and I end up putting a competition Lumacore that's in there, giving us about 200 more power per second. And the coolers, I have gotten rid of the quick cools, the grade deltas, and gone to the full Zero Rush, which is only 10 more cooling, but they recover and they give you the juice back much sooner. And for the quantum drive, I actually kept the Fox. I went up to the Foxfire quantum drive. It's fairly slow, but I just wanted to keep it competition theme. You can easily put an Atlas on there to get you all around the verse if that's what you wanted. The Foxfire is really quick, though, as far as recovering and then getting you back out into quantum. So that is the, well, shoot, I forgot to put the stock items into the cart. Let's check out the upgrade on this. 126,350 Alpha UEC to fully upgrade the 350R to full competition, plus really good DPS. And folks, that is the loadouts for the 300 series ships. My recommendations. Now we're going to take a quick look at the brochures. The brochure for the 300 series. Then we're going to move on to 2 different commercials. One is the old 300i commercial, and then one is the new 300i commercial. So keep that in mind. They are different. You can definitely see the design changes from the old one to the new one. I prefer the new one much better. And then we'll get into the chase camera dogfighting, and then we'll wrap up the video. So if you're still listening at this point, thank you for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe down below. It really helps us out on the channel. And let's go on to the brochure. All right, everybody, here we go with the brochure to the 300 series. The picture you see up there on the screen right now is the old 300. It is the 350R, but it is the old series of 300. You can tell by the spoiler section. If you see the spoiler section, you see there's 3 vertical I want to say rudders, but they're not. They're really slats that hold up the top end of the spoiler. That isn't there anymore. It's a totally different look. You can also see the guns were on the outside of the wing, which they are not anymore. They are on the underside of the wing. It has a much more mechanical and military type of look to it compared to the very sleek and sexy Origin lines that are in there today. And that's why I like the newer 300 series better, because it looks more like a BMW, like what they were going for, rather than like a military variant type of ship. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next slide here. Power you can touch. In the all-new 300 series from Origin is the manifestation of a feeling. It is the thrill of T4 engines pushing out of an atmosphere. It is an exhilaration as you weave through the asteroid field. It is when flight controls become more than mechanisms, they become a part of you. We at Origin designed for you, not for you and your ship. So you can tell the engine's totally different. It's almost like an anvil type of engine up there, instead of what we have now, which are more horizontal type of engines and exhaust. Down here in the cockpit view, also a little bit different. These are actually hard mounted multifunction displays, where what we have now is like holographic multifunction displays, plus a couple hard ones down below. So quite a bit different of the rework. Origin's 300 series is the ultimate fusion of elegance and power. Every component, every part is individually calibrated, so no matter which model and options you choose, your ship will stay in perfect harmony as the ultimate in astro engineering. Unparalleled excellence and beauty in space. Even then, it was still a beautiful ship. In 2889, the Lang brothers were tired of the trend towards utilitarianism in the ships of their time. They wanted to bring aesthetics back to space design. They retreated to their workshop to start building what would ultimately become the prototype for the X3. The success of that iconic ship became the wellspring of Origin Jumpworks' lines of personal craft. The Langs refused to rest on the mounting accolades. Instead, they continued to push their engineers to find perfect equilibrium between beauty and function. Over the next 30 years, the Langs and their team released a series of ships that established Origin as one of the most respected names in astro engineering. With the 300 series, the engineers and designers at Origin have continued that proud tradition of aesthetics and utility originally conceived over 50 years ago in that workshop. The Langs believe there was a place for beauty in space. The 300 series continues to prove them right, and I completely agree. Perfection. The heavens await. That is a fantastic picture of the 350R, and that looks like a mean racing machine. I almost wish the 350R looked like the old model, and the rest of the 300 series kind of looked a little different, but that's an awesome picture. Dynamic, where elegance and power meet. I don't know about that in this picture, to be honest. Here's some blueprints. Again, these are out of date. They don't really matter anymore, but it's neat that there is a blueprint in there of the whole 300 series. Fly higher. The pursuit of happiness is never ending. Elegance and efficiency, sophistication and swagger. The Origin 300 series give pilots and passengers a sense of purpose on the lanes and a reason to keep moving. It almost looks like there's two engines back here instead of one, which would be significantly different. That's interesting. I never got to fly the old 300 series, so I don't really know. Design is law. Save the complicated maneuvers for outside the ship. Every part of a 300 series spacecraft is exactly where you expect it to be. At Origin, we pride ourselves on building the pilot to the pilot instead of the spacecraft. Every component of an Origin spacecraft, from the laser bypass core connector to the cockpit auto latch vacuum seal system, has its own storied design team and has been rigorously examined for ergonomic superiority and stress tests within 1 micron tolerances. That's really small. We're dedicated to making sure your spacecraft feels like an extension of your body. Grab a 300 series flight yoke and find out what you've been missing. Looks that can kill. You're traveling at thousands of kilometers per hour, blasting asteroids with your laser cannons and dodging stellar debris. So why aren't you having fun? Space travel doesn't need to be a chore, and you don't need to do it in another matte gray box. I think that's a rib at RSI. Choose an Origin 300 series spacecraft and you'll look forward to entering orbit again. The 300 series are ships that fight as well as they look, with powerful laser cannons, standard and missile launcher slots optional in every model. All that plus sleek, beautiful lines, painstakingly engineered by 200 years of space travel expertise. It's no wonder they call it the Origin look. Your ship is your character. Why wouldn't you want the best? Here at Origin, we understand that everyone is different, so our engineers aim to provide a level of customization unparalleled. Unparalleled in our competitors, so the 300 series offers a flexible design architecture, allowing you to tailor the ship to suit your needs. Again, the customization option. You can rest assured that any modifications, see authorized dealer for acceptable parts, will work natively with your 300 model or variant without sacrificing the overall quality and features that make your 300 an Origin spacecraft. Peace of mind doesn't mean losing out on a piece of the action. A professional pilot can't rely on a repair service contract when he's 10 jumps from home. That's why every Origin 300 series spacecraft uses vacuum-tested, museum-grade parts mated with industry-defining standard attach points. Every component on a 300 is accessible at the field by the pilot, so taking damage doesn't have to mean an immediate trip home. Origin relies on the strictest standards to certify authorized repair centers, so you always have a safe port. I'm not sure what a museum grade part is, but okay. The 300 series state-of-the-art glass cockpit allows for unobstructed 360 view for maximum situational awareness. Diamond-cut star prismatium materials for finer visibility than any other spacecraft of its class. Custom-designed HUDs provide a constant stream of data without obscuring the view. Again, I kind of like this cockpit, but it doesn't look like that anymore. Room to breathe. Okay. A little bit different here. We're getting into the back now. The 300 series handles like a fighter without sacrificing the comforts of a larger ship. The ample berths for long-duration spaceflight, the 300 series rear habitation compartment features all the necessities: eat, sleep, and work in exquisite comfort. Navigate the distant depths of space with the comfort and safety of a well-traveled space lanes. Fly safe in the knowledge that you are protected by the safest and most well-constructed spacecraft hull in space. It's the ultimate freedom to explore. A bold new horizon. Everything, everywhere. Built-in touch panels allow the pilot complete access to all subsystems, even when relaxing away from the cockpit. Whether you need to alter your avionics pattern or stream the latest stock reports, the 300 series software is always within reach. That's cool. I can't wait till that's a thing. And then it starts going into stats of the actual 300i, the length and the mass. And here's a picture of what the 300i actually looked like. The old 300i. Pretty neat. I kind of like it. Coming with stock Omninsky 6 laser cannons and things like that. Here's the 315p, the Explorer. You can see on the front still had that. Let's see. Was the tractor beam? You've charted the furthest jump points and penetrated the most distant nebulae. Now what? Bring a piece of your journeys home with the tractor beam available on every Origin 315 spacecraft. From digging up rare materials and distant asteroid belts to unlocking deep space's darkest archaeological mysteries, the 315 tractor beam is your tool for the lifestyle. So, are we going to be able to like tractor beam things in and just hold it there? It's kind of a question I have. Dragon Stellar STC Silver. Go farther, faster. The Origin 315 pairs an elite class of Tyler D-Tech Sonic Light 600 power plant with the Dragon Stellar STC Silver thruster system, capable of smooth maneuvering at a long range. Only the 315p's advanced engine solution makes navigating the furthest reaches of unexplored space as simple as a ride around the Terra system. Very cool. And my baby here, the 325A, I still kind of really like this look. Holding extra weapons up here on top of the spoiler is pretty neat. Talking about it comes with a Klaus and Werner mass driver cannon and the Stalker IR twin, the image recognition missiles, which are, I guess, would really just be cross section at this point because IR is usually infrared. But anyway. Next up, the 350R, the racing model. These engines don't exist anymore, but there were 2 engines back there. Twice the thrust, unlimited potential, which we do have another, it looks like another engine on the current 350R as well. Or another exhaust at least. More engine. Talks about the side panels here, reinforced armor plating. The main thruster, which is completely different now. The fully retractable landing gear. I wish we could actually roll around in the landing gear. That'd be cool. Cockpit panels. They don't look like this number. I don't want to get too far into it. This is a really cool brochure, though. I never even looked at this before I ended up buying the 300 or the 325A. Anyway, guys, that is the brochure for the 300 series. We're now going to move into the old commercial for the 300 series. So you'll get to see this aircraft that we just went over flying around. And then we're going to transition into the new commercial for the 300 series and the current look. So enjoy that. And then we'll wrap up with some dogfighting and some final thoughts. Thank you, guys.
If someone were to ask you, what is speed? What would you tell them? Is it simply a measure of distance covered over time? The magnitude of velocity? Or is it something more? At Origin, speed is more than a number. It's a state of being. Speed is a shock to the soul. Speed is a call to action. Speed is... Introducing the 2943 300i from Origin Jumpworks.
I'll take you on a stoplight, head over heels. You and I will fall again, and then through the magic of moonlight, hand in hand, we'll forget about the world and fly. Just you holding me tight. So high the sky, they got nothing on us tonight. Let's start flight with me. Oh, the last and intoxicating starlight. What else can I do? Whisper I know. Take you on a starflight. Gonna take you on a starflight. Gonna take you on a starflight.
Hey everybody, well this just about wraps up the video on the 300 series as we're flying around the beautiful moon of Aberdeen in the Hurston system. There's HDMS Norgard as I'm coming into it, and I just wanted to say thank you for watching if you've made it this far in the video, and if I've earned your like and your subscribe, I would definitely appreciate that. Jawa and I work really hard to try to make good videos, and I hope I've done the 300 series justice. It's definitely been a blast to do these videos, and I sure hope you guys are enjoying the content that we are producing. If you have any comments, please let me know. If you have a different build or loadout for the 300 series, I would really love to hear it. If you have some kind of special experience with the 300 series, especially the 325A, my favorite of all the 300s, I would definitely appreciate to hear it. So feel free to comment below. We usually answer them, and sometimes I end up learning a thing or two, which is awesome. I also want to mention that we do have a Patreon if you're interested. The link is in the description below, or you can visit our website at fistingjawa.org. And we also have things like a merch store if you are interested in maybe buying a shirt or If your state still has COVID masks and you need a mask, we got those for sale. We got you covered. And anyway, guys, I just want to say thank you for watching. And we'll see you in the next video, which should be the 600i. And then I think the M50 and 85X will be a combined video. And then it's on to the 890 jump. And then we move on to the next ship series. So thank you for watching. Good night, Stan.